The old house stood on a hill overlooking the town, a skeletal silhouette against the bruised twilight sky. It was known as the Blackwood House, and for as long as anyone could remember, it had been empty. Locals said it was haunted, cursed, a place where shadows moved on their own and whispers echoed in vacant rooms. As a teenager with a thirst for adventure and a healthy dose of skepticism, I saw it as the ultimate challenge. So one starless October night, my friends Liam, Maya, and Chloe and I decided to break in. Armed with flashlights and a misplaced sense of courage, we pried open a boarded-up window at the back of the house. The air that rushed out was stale and cold, carrying the scent of dust and something else, something vaguely metallic and sweet, like old pennies in decay. We tumbled inside, landing on a floor thick with grime. My flashlight beam cut through the oppressive darkness, revealing a grand, decaying foyer. A sweeping staircase, draped in cobwebs, led to the upper floor. The wallpaper was peeling in long, curling strips, revealing dark, water-stained plaster beneath. Every surface was coated in a fine layer of gray dust. It was like stepping into a forgotten world, frozen in time. For the first hour, it was just a game. We explored the ground floor, our nervous laughter echoing through the cavernous rooms. We found a drawing room with furniture shrouded in white sheets, like a ghostly congregation. In the dining room, a long table was set for a meal that was never eaten. Plates and silverware still arranged under a film of dust. It was creepy, sure, but nothing we couldn't handle. The real fear hadn't found us yet. Liam, ever the show-off, dared to go to the basement alone. "I'll be right back," he'd said with a cocky grin, his voice bouncing off the high ceilings. Probably just rats and spiders down there. We waited. The minutes stretched into an eternity. The silence of the house pressing in on us. The usual creaks and groans of an old building started to sound less random, more deliberate. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream ripped through the silence from below. It wasn't a prank scream. It was raw, filled with genuine terror. We froze, our hearts pounding in our chests. We called his name, our voices trembling. "Liam? Liam, are you okay?" Only silence answered. Panic set in. Maya started crying softly, her hand clamped over her mouth. I gripped my flashlight tighter, its beam shaking. "We have to go get him," I said, my voice barely a whisper. Chloe shook her head frantically. "No way. Did you hear that? We need to get out of here now." But we couldn't just leave him. Summoning what little courage we had left, we made our way to the basement door. It was heavy, made of solid oak, and cold to the touch. As I reached for the iron handle, a faint scratching sound came from the other side. Scratch, scratch, scratch. It was slow, rhythmic, like fingernails dragging across wood. We looked at each other, eyes wide with terror. The scratching stopped. Then, a low, guttural whisper slithered through the crack under the door. It was a voice that didn't sound human, ancient and filled with malice. It said a single word. "Come." We didn't need any more convincing. We bolted. We scrambled for the window we'd entered through, our only thought to escape. But as we ran through the foyer, something made me look up the grand staircase. My blood ran cold. Standing at the top of the stairs was a figure. It was tall and impossibly thin, a silhouette cloaked in shadows that seemed to cling to it like a shroud. I couldn't see a face, just a dark, empty space where a face should be. It didn't move. It just stood there, watching us. I felt its gaze like a physical weight, crushing the air from my lungs. Chloe screamed, a pure, unadulterated shriek of terror that shattered the silence. We didn't wait to see if the figure would move. We practically threw ourselves out the window, tumbling onto the damp grass outside, gasping for air. We ran without looking back, not stopping until the town's streetlights were a comforting glow in the distance. We never saw Liam again. The police searched the house, of course. They found the open window, our footprints in the dust. But the basement door was locked from the inside. There was no sign of a break-in, no sign of a struggle, no sign of Liam. They said he probably ran away, that we'd made up the story to cover for him. But we knew the truth. We knew what we saw. Years have passed since that night. Maya moved away not long after, and I haven't heard from her since. Chloe's still in town, but she never talks about what happened. Sometimes I see her looking up at the hill at the Blackwood House, her face pale and her eyes filled with a fear that never truly left. As for me, I'm haunted by it. Not by ghosts in the traditional sense, but by the memory of the scratching of that inhuman whisper, of the silent, faceless figure on the stairs, and most of all, by the memory of Liam's scream. Sometimes, late at night, when the house is quiet and the wind is howling outside, I think I can hear it. A faint scratching sound coming from just outside my door, and a low, guttural whisper, carried on the wind, calling my name. It tells me to come back. To come back to the house on the hill. They say the Blackwood House is still empty. But I know better. It isn't empty. It's waiting. It's hungry. And it remembers us. It remembers me. I know that one day I might have to go back. Not because I want to, but because some things you can't run from. Some doors, once opened, can never truly be closed. So if you ever find yourself near an old, abandoned house that beckons you in, just remember my story. Turn around, walk away, and don't ever look back.